You know her as an NFL analyst for ESPN's NFL Live. She also appears on Get Up, SportsCenter, First Take, and more. Also hosts the amazing podcast, The Mina Kimes Show, featuring Lenny, and has a Love is Blind recap show near and dear to my heart, Love is Kimes. Please welcome the Sports Gossip Show's first guest, Mina Kimes.
Wow.
What an honor. Oh, my goodness. I didn't know I was the first guest. It's a lot of pressure, but I'll do my best.
Truly, no pressure at all. We weren't sure how to have guests on, to be honest, because once again, we're doing this ourselves.
Yeah.
But, you know, hopefully this tech works and people will be able to hear and see what you have to say.
Fingers crossed.
We're so excited to talk to you, though, because obviously Championship Sunday coming up. And I heard you and Bill Barnwell, shout out Bill, talking about how you prefer Championship Sunday to the divisional round. How excited are you for this weekend coming up?
Pretty excited. The matchups that we ended up with are, I think, good ones. Get Mahomes-Allen rematch on the AFC. Mahomes is 3-0 against him, so if he wins again, it'll be a little bit of a Serena Sharapova thing, right? Where everyone's like, it's a rivalry, but is it really? The other thing, I on my pod, we dig into all the matchups and X's and O's nerd stuff. But the other thing that I find interesting is people freaking hate the Chiefs right now. And so there's this real villain thing, and they're kind of leaning into. I want to be clear. I don't hate the Chiefs, but I find that interesting. I know as a Patriots fan, you are accustomed to that life. I mean, let me ask you this, not to turn it on you guys. Do you feel like people hate the Chiefs now more than people hated the Patriots during the Brady dynasty?
Absolutely not.
I don't think so.
I feel like
Really?
people might hate the Chiefs slightly less. I don't know. I would argue that Taylor Swift has helped staunch some of that hatred, to be honest. Like, I was saying to Madeline on our show earlier this week, I feel like as a Patriots fan, it would be hypocritical of me to be like, I hate the Chiefs. Like, I felt like I had to root for Alabama when they were really good. Also, Madeline's a Georgia fan, so sorry.
It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. I don't need to talk about it.
Do you hate the Chiefs?
No, I don't hate the Chiefs because of Taylor Swift, I think.
Yeah.
But I've got to be honest. I mean, as a sports gossip expert, I'm not a sports expert, as I always say. I didn't even care. I didn't think about the Chiefs before. I'm from Atlanta. I cared about the Falcons, and who wants to care about the Falcons? You know, except me.
Right.
So I don't think I had an image in my mind, whether they were villains or not, because I just wasn't thinking about them.
Yeah.
I think it's probably more about the platforms now that people use to express that hatred. Because, Charlotte, you're probably right. People hated the Patriots as much, but social media wasn't as, one, vibrant, and two, horrible. So vibrant is a really weird euphemism, by the way. I don't know why I said that, but
they're just in Technicolor now.
I guess from my experience or vantage point as an analyst, I'll put out a video that's like, wow, this is a really cool overload pressure by Kansas City, and it'll be people being like, why are you talking about the refs? And I'm like, whoa. So that is a real thing. I am surprised that no Swiftie has put together a 20-minute YouTube breakdown exonerating the Chiefs against the ref stuff. That would be actually quite helpful, to be honest.
Yeah, how much of a storyline, how much of this is the Bills versus the refs in most people's minds? Because I don't know if people in the more casual fan experience are aware of just how much people think that the refs are in this to make sure the Chiefs get to the Super Bowl.
They're cooking the books.
Yeah.
It might be something where, too, I'm over-indexing social media and normal people don't actually feel this way. I truly don't know, but I will say it is very, very much the conversation on the internet right now around the Chiefs. And, yeah, it feels to me, we didn't even address the NFC side of it, but it feels to me like if you surveyed people outside of Kansas City, the vast majority of fans seem to be rooting for the Bills.
I mean, I'm a little bit rooting for the Bills, even though, as I said, I feel like a hypocrite. But how invested are you in the Swift? What is it?
Yeah,
I almost said Steinbrenner, but that's the Yankees. You do this part.
Yeah. The obviously we have this Swift versus Steinfeld Wag Bowl coming up, and I'm curious how invested you are in the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce of it all, if at all.
So I wouldn't say I'm invested. I find it very interesting as a statement of celebrity and what like football celebrity versus non-football celebrity. They seem to be the only two monocultures we have left in America, football and Taylor Swift. And the fact that they merged is kind of crazy. I also find them both to be inoffensive. I don't have like strong feelings about either of them. So again, it's like, you know, like if like McDonald's merged with Apple, I think is kind of like the vibe I get. I have met Travis Kelce. I've never met Taylor Swift. He is very nice. He's like and not just nice in like a fake way. Like I think genuinely people like him because he treats people well. And that was my experience as well. He's just like a normal, nice guy. Jason works at ESPN now similarly. So I find him hard to root against in that regard. I will say, like, I feel like the Hailee Steinfeld, Josh Allen thing kind of like flew under the radar, maybe because of the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce relationship. I mean, what do you guys, like, I feel like nobody talked about that. And then they got engaged and suddenly, I know she's not as famous, but.
Well, she kind of, we were just talking about this, like Hailee Steinfeld has 20 million Instagram followers, which is kind of shocking. I did not think she would be that famous, but she is, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely, Taylor took up a lot of the oxygen when it comes to who are football players dating. I also think that Josh Allen is just like such a goofy, like, you know, lovely seeming guy, and she's just not, and she doesn't post about him. Like she's not active on social media as someone might be. Like there's nothing like from the suite, from the box. Like they're very smart about just being like, this is, she has her newsletter where she, you know, tells people like take deep breaths and stuff. It's all very like, it's sort of like even keeled is the vibe that I get.
I also think that Taylor Swift does essentially, we've talked about this, like a tunnel fit walk every time she goes to Arrowhead. Whereas Hailee Steinfeld, I don't think I've ever seen that at a Bills game that she's attended.
Well,
like
I don't think I've seen anyone do a tunnel fit walk at a Bills game, period. So some of that might be venue related. But yeah, I don't remember ever seeing like pictures of her. I know she was there, but again, although now I get fed her Instagram or like Stein fans, whatever, all the time by my IG Explorer. And I'd like to say it's because of football, but I think it's probably because I've screenshotted her haircut like 10 times.
Mina, I was just
it's amazing.
At that. When we were prepping for this, I was like, oh my God, her bob is incredible. I'm so tempted to just chop it all off.
Looks so good. It's one of those things though where like I think it's misleading, like because she's so beautiful. It's like, wow, that would work on me. And then you get it and you're like, I look like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. You know, like what
I regret this. Deeply regret it.
I am Lord Farquaad now.
I lived in the UK and got a haircut at this very like cool salon. It was really hard to get an appointment, and they did curtain bangs on me, which I have long red hair. I've never done anything remotely close to that. And the second it was done, I was like, why did I do this? Why did I try to get a cool girl haircut? I am not a cool girl.
You are, but sometimes you got to stick to the basics.
Yeah.
Mina, something I saw you repost was when Josh went and hugged Lamar Jackson, quarterback of the Ravens, after the game. It was so cute, so sweet. And then Lamar said, like, I just want go win something. How common is that? Like, have you seen that often between quarterbacks? I feel like this just felt more genuine in some way. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that for the most part, there's a lot of like mutual respect. Obviously, so a lot of them train together, similar coaches. They run in. A lot of these guys, this isn't the case with Lamar and Allen, have been running into each other since they were in high school because quarterback training starts so young. They have these things called Elite 11 camps out here in California. And I just remember, you know, I've gone to them. You see the NFL quarterbacks when they're like 15 for the first time. So I think there's a lot of familiarity. And the truth is, like, there's very few instances of NFL players who actually like hate each other and like real right. That's why it's so great when it happens, because you're like, oh, they actually do not like each other. But for the most part, it seems like quarterbacks, there's a little bit of a club. I don't know if there's like a group chat or anything, but
I was wondering that.
There has to be.
They've got to be talking.
Or they have like a secret WhatsApp group or something where they.
The running backs did that. Do you guys? I don't know if you remember that, but like during this, was it this year or the last year? I think it was this year actually when Saquon didn't get re-signed by the Giants, or no, it was the year before. Anyways, they all had like a group chat and like a Zoom to talk about the fact that they weren't getting paid.
I said, Mina, I was like,
Wait.
we need separate collective bargaining just for running backs because I think running backs need to be paid. I understand the economics of it, but I still think give them the money. They're doing a lot of hard work out there.
They are.
Do you have a favorite storyline for Commanders Eagles?
Yeah, I think my favorite storyline is the fact that Dan Snyder sold the team and they immediately became successful because it's so fucking funny.
It's like,
And
yeah.
I mean, it just happened immediately too. Literally, he had to sell the
Incredible.
team, and they became good. It took so little time, and I remember I posted about this back when it was obvious during the season, and there were some folks who were like, "Well, he sold them for billions of dollars, and he's just, you think he's crying in his like pile of money?" Yeah, the dude was notoriously obsessed with image and perception and blowback and also the team. Like he was, not all owners are like this. He was like a true hardcore dyed-in-the-wolf fan. It was his dream to own an NFL team. And there's the reason why they sell for so much and it's so coveted is there's only, 32 of them and he had to sell it. So I do think it's killing him that he can't be in the box for these games.
Yeah.
Do you think he's like when you break up with someone and then you're checking the new girlfriend is there and maybe she's a little more accomplished than you. Things seem to be looking up. Like maybe the boyfriend is introducing the girlfriend to the parents sooner than with the ex, and he's like just late night doom scrolling on his phone. Definitely. Like I feel like that's what he did. He's like doom scrolling, looking on Twitter at like
it really
searching
is
Commanders.
To continue your analogy, the fact that it happened so quickly, it really is like how whenever people break up in their 30s, they immediately marry the next person in like 6 months, right?
Yes, it's like the analogy on Sex and the City.
The taxi cab.
Taxi cab light.
Men are like taxi cabs, like their light goes on and the next person who gets it. It turns out NFL teams are too. I do feel like there's so few instances of like true karma these days.
Yeah.
To see this happen is like
so rarely, yeah.
Like everything feels pretty bad. So it's like, oh, Dan Snyder has to watch the team be successful. That's great. Also, did you see that Jayden Daniels' mom posted a picture with Tom Brady?
No.
Just like adorable mom
That's
behavior.
great.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, they were just like on the field. It was her and someone else, and then Tom Brady being like, and that was on her Instagram story.
Do you think he was embarrassed?
No,
Jayden
Daniels?
Oh,
Daniels.
Maybe a little.
Mom.
I'd be embarrassed. I'm like, Mom, stop it. Be cool. I'm a quarterback now. I'm in the club.
seriously. He's in the booth.
He's in the booth. Be chill. Be chill.
Be cool.
That's like one time I took my mom to a restaurant in LA. You probably would know it. Little Dom's.
Yeah.
Los Feliz. And there's often celebrities there. And I saw Harry Styles come into the restaurant. And I knew if I said anything to my mom, she'd try to go up and take a photo. So I was like, I'm going to wait. We're going to eat our meal. And then at the end of the meal, when we're leaving, I'll mention to her that he's there so she can just look at him and see him and then we'll leave.
Yeah.
So the meal is coming to a close. We're standing up. I'm like, Mom, don't freak out. Harry Styles is by the bar. She immediately makes a beeline towards the bar, gets her phone out, tries to be like Dumois, if you know what that is, the celebrity gossip Instagram, trying to take a photo of him. I'm like, this is why I can't take my mom anywhere.
You can't have nice things.
Can't have her around celebs.
So there's an event that happens every year called the Gold Gala for like Asian American people in television and whatnot. And one year I took my mom, and there's a lot of actors and actresses there, and we were getting ready to like walk the red carpet or whatever, and she just starts grabbing them, like asking for photo, and I'm like, I literally was like, you need to stop. So she got one with the cast of Pachinko. She took one with Daniel Day Kim, who I kind of know, and I was like, oh my god, it's fine. And then she made a beeline. This was Everything Everywhere was out that year. She made a beeline towards Michelle Yeoh, and I was like, stop. I was like, no more. You're embarrassed. Like, this is bad. And I swear to God, to this day, every time she sees Michelle Yeoh, she sends a picture and she's like, I could have had a photo with her if not for you. And I'm like,
what could have been?
What could have been?
What could have been? Your mom is amazing on social media, by the way. Tell her she's got a huge fan over here. I think there's another sort of like jilted lover storyline going on here with the Eagles that I find particularly delicious, which is that Daniel Jones, former Giants quarterback, is now backup for the Vikings, and Saquon Barkley, obviously running back for the Eagles, was traded or left the Giants. They didn't pay him, blah, blah, blah. Daniel Jones was watching the Eagles game from Saquon's box, which is like so cute. And also,
I love it.
My husband is a Giants fan, and he was just like, I mean, not so sad about Daniel Jones, but the Saquon stuff is rough.
Similarly, actually, Malik Neighbors, who's on the Giants, went to, I can't remember, it was I think the wild card round to cheer on his former teammate Jayden Daniels. And Giants fans were like, "Really, dude? You're cheering on the Commanders?" But and it's the happiest he's looked all year, by the way.
He's like, "I'm here for my
game.
friend."
Yeah.
I'm here for my friend. Yeah, that's very funny. People love Saquon. I just had Lane Johnson, who's the Eagles' right tackle, on my podcast, and the way he talks about him and the fact that he's out in the locker room is really like I very few examples of that where like a free agent comes in and is just immediately beloved.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to do. How much of that do you think has to do with how good he is?
I completely thought you were going to say how good looking for a second there.
That would be on brand.
No,
for
you
this
implying he
podcast.
has pretty privilege? I did a commercial once with him. It was an ESPN commercial, and it was, I think, his first or second year. And there was a woman who was like an extra on our commercial who, in front of everyone, just shot her shot.
Stop
Saquon
it.
Barkley.
Oh my God, how did it go?
Yeah, what'd she say?
She was just like, "So, how long are you down?" We were all like, "Oh my God."
You would think like the producer would have prepped him like, hey, just don't talk to him, don't try to shoot your shot with talent.
The impression I got is this is a man who is very accustomed to being approached by women constantly. He does like have an inner glow.
Big time.
Like,
He has an
in
aura.
person.
He and Jalen Hurts, I was just like, I was watching them play, and I was like, there's just no world in which the Patriots would ever have two people like this cool. It just like wouldn't happen. And I was like, it must be really nice to be an Eagles fan right now. Also, weirdly, I watched the first ever Jake Paul's like first ever boxing match standing next to Saquon Barkley. And it was like a very weird, I was like, hey, so, like he's just standing there, and I was like, so how are the Giants? And he was like, good. And I was like, sick.
I can totally picture you having this conversation.
Yeah. And I was like, you like boxing? He's like, I think I'm done with
Like,
it.
I'm done
I
with
was not shooting my shot, for the record.
No, yeah. It's,
For the record.
Listen, I always struggle with small talk when I'm around athletes, to be honest. Oh, I get it. But yeah, he is, I mean, like, beyond being good looking, the impact he's had on the team, it's crazy. Dominic and I were just talking about this, like, it's just, there's going to be a conversation about running back pay and free agents after that, but I really think it's such a unique situation because they took an incredible offensive line, and then they took an incredible back, and then you have like an incredible deep threat wide receiver, and it's just too many things for defenses to stop. And it was really like adding, I call it like a force multiplier to something that was already good and just making it insane.
Totally. Do you, Mina, what do you think would be the most fun Super Bowl matchup to come out of Championship Sunday?
I think Bills Eagles would be really fun. Commanders, I mean, rookie in the Super Bowl would be insane, obviously,
Right, yeah.
with the Commanders. But I think Bills Eagles would give us the best game, to be honest. So that would be, and I guess really good storylines. I know Chiefs three-peat is obviously, the historic aspect of that is pretty cool. But, I mean, it is really hard not to root for the Bills right now. I find them to be a very likable team.
I know. I feel very conflicted, I think.
Yeah,
about
why?
the- Well,
Talk me through that.
So my family roots for the Bills because my stepmom's nephew is Joe Brady. So they're big Bills
Wow.
fans.
I know.
so
I'm like, why don't we have more intel,
I
Madeline?
don't have any intel.
Give some
If I
tea.
did, I'd give it to Mina. No, I don't have any. I have no intel. I have no intel on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I wish I did because it would make for some more exclusive content on the
Yeah.
pod. I don't know if our listeners would care about that though.
We'll see.
But so anyway, so my stepmom every Sunday obviously is like calling me "Go Bills." Like you're watching every game, obviously. And I do think the Bills, to your point, Mina, I think it's a more interesting Super Bowl. They feel like a little bit of like a grittier team, have a little bit more pizzazz. I don't know. Whereas the Chiefs do feel like the commercial, like the target of teams, just like a crowd pleaser. You got the Taylor Swift. You can get her album at Target, the exclusive Target album. But you can also get like Chiefs gear at Target and a Stanley water bottle or whatever else.
It's
I don't know.
It's like this is the extent of my knowledge about Taylor Swift, basically, and I really don't want to make any of her. I mean, it's so funny. I deal with obviously angry fans professionally, like as all the time. Yeah. But like, I think I would be much more afraid of angering her fan base than like Bill's Mafia or something.
Yes,
they seem to be not just vengeful, but organized in a way that. Like NFL fans are kind of all over the place. They're not really like they do sometimes resemble a horde, and that can be very scary. But I will say I know that she does a thing where she's just constantly doing new versions, like live songs, to be number one. Is that
yes, that's true.
Yes,
that's true.
Yeah. That's kind of what a Chiefs Super Bowl would. It's like, oh, again, it's like, okay, it's this, but it's a remix and it's live from London. And,
live from London, the Super Bowl.
Chiefs three-peat, Travis's version with Taylor, part 2 live.
How about something new? How about a little, Charlie XCX or whatever?
Brat Winter.
Hailee Steinfeld had some songs too, right? Wasn't she like a pop star briefly?
She was.
She tried to be.
Yes, I think
she was.
No, she was.
She was.
Wow. Okay, we're your allegiance live.
Sorry. No, that was so mean. I just feel like she was she had some songs and then pivoted away from that and was
and then she became a newsletter queen. With Bo, what's it called? The Bo Society?
Her newsletter, Mina, is called the Bo Society, which is abbreviated to BS. So I'll be reading it, and it'll be like the BS community, and I'm like the bullshit community, and then I'm like, oh,
Bill
right.
Simmons. Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
Also that.
Interesting. Maybe she's a big Bill Simmons fan, and we don't even know it.
BS report.
People surprise you every day.
People surprise you. Switching gears a little bit. Obviously, we on the Sports Gossip Show care a lot about sports gossip. Is there a piece of sports gossip or a storyline that is something you think about or go back to time and time again as your favorite storyline or piece of gossip in the NFL or maybe any other sport?
Yeah, anything that you
There's
just
so
like
many.
Once a month, you're like mine is. It's Rebecca Vardy's account from the Colleen Rooney. Anyway, don't have to get into it.
The wives.
The Premier League, the wife of Wayne Rooney posted an Instagram story.
Yeah.
Like my Roman Empire.
Yes.
I mean, Baron Davis dating Laura Dern, I think about probably once every 6 months.
Oh, yes.
But I will go, I mean, this is a little bit of low-hanging fruit, but I often think about Jimmy Garoppolo being photographed going on a date with a porn star. And the reason why it's interesting to me is not the salacious aspect of it, right? Oh, it's or whatever, or even like Garoppolo himself, being notoriously like handsome and whatnot. It just doesn't happen. And I just, and not the date part, the fact that he went, the date part is what doesn't happen. And I always think about it like, did he just not have a team or not a football team, like a team of people to stop him from being photographed in public on this date? And like, how did she, like, I just think about it all the time from like the weird mechanisms of celebrity and these players and the apparatuses they have around them. He is not the first NFL player, certainly, to have that sort of liaison, but to be public, like, it's just so odd to me that it happened. I think about it all the time.
First of all, I had forgotten about that, so thank you. I needed to be reminded of that. Also, it's either he didn't have a team around him or he did, and he was like, I'm doing it anyway, which is also an interesting, maybe Jimmy was feeling a little bit left out in his backup roles and was like, I need to be the star of the show for a moment.
But we've been talking about, Travis and Taylor and Hailee Steinfeld and Josh. It is interesting that he is the most conventionally handsome player of our lifetime, and in terms of like unanimous, so much so that men are very comfortable talking about it, which is kind of your barometer. Like if it's so obvious, I would say Hurts and Saquon are kind of in that category too, but he was the guy. He never dated a celebrity. I don't think he ever even dated, like, it was there wasn't even like an SI swimsuit model girlfriend, at least not that I knew of. This is the only public relationship.
And is it the only public one he's had since?
that I know of. I guess once he stopped being a starter, he kind of lost people's interest. But
What's he up to right now, actually?
he is the Rams' backup quarterback.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like he's closer to dating an SI swimsuit model with the Rams, so maybe he will. It is interesting because I do think athletes in general, something you and I have talked about, is when you even think about like their social media presence. Obviously, there are some athletes who have teams, they have social media managers running their accounts. And then there are some that you're like, does this person have anyone checking this stuff? I'll see athletes post blurry photos. They'll post 4 different SpawnCon posts in a row that I'm like, are these brands okay with this?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they are. They have spelling errors. And I'm like, it is wild the range of like team support just in general with these players. And like using that example, I'm like, did he have a team or did he not? Like, I don't know. Maybe the team knew.
He was on a huge contract at the time. This wasn't like when he was young. It was he was already with the Niners. It was just. What year was it now? Oh, gosh.
Was it 2019?
It was definitely pre-pandemic. Okay, it was... No, 2023. Oh, no, that's just a remembrance.
I love this Google.
The
Jimmy
Google
Garoppolo.
The first thing that
porn
came up,
star.
the cruel porn star shaming of 49ers quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, no.
2018 is when it happened.
Okay.
So, I want to be clear. I'm not porn star shaming him.
No.
The thing we are questioning is just how it happened because it's so unique. But
And the optics. Yeah, you also never see NFL players go on dates at all unless it's like, a paparazzi walk with Taylor and Travis.
Or like Tom Brady, someone that famous.
Who's Tom Brady dating now? Just
know.
so many questions.
I think he was last dated. There was a report about someone. I can't remember who it was. I remember being like, oh, it was age appropriate.
Oh, that's good.
Was it Kim Kardashian? It might have been Kim. Anyway,
that was a while ago.
Yeah, who's to say?
Who's to say?
Mina, thank you so much. Is there anything sports gossipy you just need to get off your chest before we let you go? You're about to be so busy.
Oh, yeah, no. Gosh, I'm trying to think of any other pieces of gossip that interest me around a potential...
Yeah, we're a safe space, so you can come back anytime you want. We would be...
I'm gonna mull it over. Yeah.
All right. We would be honored. Thank you so much. Good luck with all these big games coming up. You're just going to continue to crush.
Oh, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.